Hey, good morning. This will be a very quick rant. We won't even bother to put any music or titling effect to it whatsoever. I just want to jump right into it. The Supreme Court has rejected a challenge to limit church services as imposed by Governor Newsom in California. Thank you, Chief Justice Roberts, for proving to us why most of the justices that get appointed by quasi, and I say that, quasi-conservative presidents like George W. Bush aren't worth the fact that they were ever appointed anyway by a Republican. They should have just gone ahead and appointed somebody who was an outright Democrat, because then we would have known exactly what to expect. Once again, Chief Justice Roberts sides with the liberals. If you don't understand what's going on in California, Newsom is acting like a little emperor, czar, dictator, and he has decided to just completely trounce and override the First Amendment and the Constitution. Now, of course, the liberal justices, along with Chief Justice Roberts, said, well, what he's doing is consistent with the regulations that he's putting on movie theaters and other businesses. First of all, the church is not a business. Second of all, I wasn't aware that movie theaters and rock concerts had a constitutionally protected right. But churches do. What isn't clear about that? What is not clear in the First Amendment? That there shall be no law in any way that will enact a limitation on the free expression and public worship. What's not clear about that? But Roberts sided with the liberals again. So let me just say a couple of things. First of all, you libloons that are going out of your mind because you think that President Trump and the people he's picked are going to end abortion. No, I hate to tell you this as a conservative, but you liberals are going to love hearing this. Abortion is safe and sound because Chief Justice John Roberts will always, repeat, always vote with the liberals. He will vote against the Constitution. He will vote against we the people. He will always vote with the liberals, bar none. Can some of you never Trumpers please explain to me why your hatred of President Trump, you claim it's because he's not a real conservative? A real conservative like who? George W. Bush, who got us in an endless war, who trounced our rights and our privacy with the Patriot Act, who empowered FISA to be used against American citizens, and then Barack Obama took full advantage of that to try to take out a political candidate named Donald J. Trump? What exactly are you meaning when you say you want a real conservative? A Mitt Romney? Some of you yesterday got a little upset with me that I picked on Ann Coulter. I don't really understand Ann Coulter. You obviously haven't read her books. I've read her crap. Now, some of her stuff, I'm not saying that what she's written is wrong. You're going to hear me. Maybe you can try thinking instead of just reacting. I didn't say that everything that she has ever said or written is wrong. What I said was she doesn't necessarily believe a word of it herself. She is an actress playing a part. I didn't say she hasn't memorized her lines well. I didn't say she can't articulate even things that we believe. But that doesn't necessarily mean that she herself puts them into practice. And her incestuous love fest with Mitt Romney, are you kidding me? Mitt Romney, when he was running for the governorship of Massachusetts in a debate, said he's not a conservative like Ronald Reagan. He doesn't want to take Massachusetts in that direction. Oh. He was proud of the gun laws in Massachusetts. They were some of the strictest in the nation, and he had absolutely no intention of lessening, and he didn't. He enacted even more gun control while he was governor, and he provided the framework and the inspiration and the apparatus which would become known as Obamacare. Oh, thank you, Mitt Romney. Yeah, you're a conservative. Bullhawk. And the fact that Ann Heat Coulter, bipolar Coulter, anorexic Coulter, the fact that she is willing to just open herself up, and I'll let you decipher what I mean by that, read between the lines, what part of her body she's opening up, for a Mitt Romney and thinks that, she just, lies awake at night, all hot and bothered, hoping that Mittness Romneyus could become the president. Don't tell me she's a conservative. Don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult the supporters and the viewers of this video channel. By the way, the little snarky remark, well, you said that the actions of these police in Minneapolis was borderline criminal. Obviously, you understand that I'm doing this without a single note in front of me? I don't have a written monologue. I'm not reading off a teleprompter. And sometimes when you're speaking extemporaneously, at first, when something comes out, you realize quickly, I need to rework that. Now, unlike some people, I don't stop and say, oops, I shouldn't have said it that way, I should have said it this way. I tend to edit on the fly. So I did go on to say, borderline criminal, it was actually criminal. These men ought to be in a jail cell, not just fired. I thought I put that in proper context, but apparently, again, some of you have comprehension skills, lacking comprehension skill. But that was the purpose of this rant. This rant was to let you know, hey, liberalism is going to be protected because justices picked by people like George W. Bush are going to make sure that liberalism and anti-Americanism, it's safe. It's safe. I've said this before, I will say it again. Even if you don't like Donald Trump as far as his personality, his temperament, if you don't understand how good he has been for the economy and allowed a group of policy wonks and so-called medical experts convince him that to save the lives of millions of people, he had to clamp down and shut down the economy. And now he's finding out how hard it is to reopen it because, well, people are now afraid. The psyche has set in. I live in a state where restaurants are open for in-service dining. A lot of them didn't reopen. Some because they can't get any wait staff. Some, corporately owned, are not reopening, like McDonald's and your fast food places. They aren't reopening their dining rooms yet. They're drive-through only. I guess some of them you can walk in, order, and then take it out, but you can't sit inside. Some of the other national chains, they've taken out different tables and things and spaced things out. And basically, I talked to a manager of one of those franchises just yesterday who told me there are no plans for anything to even resemble normal until late fall. Gee, what happens in the fall? Would that be an election? You better figure out really fast what's going on. Really fast what's going on. And the fact that this president is literally surrounded by the swamp. And for him to get done the things that he has gotten done is a miracle in and of itself. And they are throwing everything at him right now. They are throwing a pandemic at him. They are throwing a collapsing economy at him. They are throwing riots in the streets at him. And right now is not the time to be waffling in your support and getting snarky because you don't like the way certain conservative commentators might be wording something. Hey, listen up and pay attention. You'll find no more ardent supporter and defender of true conservatism than you will on a channel just like this one with yours truly. I am an original. Don't settle for a cheap imitation. That said, we have had all we can stand of the career politicians. I've told you before, it's not about left versus right, it's about right versus wrong. It's not about conservative versus Democrat, liberal versus conservative. It's not about any of that. It's about them versus us. And you better figure out real fast that the Republicans and the Democrats in Washington all play on the same team. They put on different uniforms, they put on a little show for the TV cameras and the 24-hour news channels, but at the end of the day, they go to the same cocktail parties, they take money from the same donors, same lobbyists, they play on the same team. They are globalist swamp creatures, period. Period. And so now, it doesn't matter that we have a constitution and a protection of the expression of the freedom of religion and worship. Doesn't matter. Chief Justice Roberts said so. Yee-haw. Are they just going to keep pushing this until the patriots look like what the rioters from Minneapolis spreading across the country look like? Is that really what they're trying to invoke? Methinks that's the final step in this process of trying to get people, the vast majority of people, anti-Trump. Don't fall for it. I realize we live in times right now which are unsettling. They are crazy, chaotic, and fear and panic driven. Keep your head, keep the faith, keep moving forward. You do the right thing. You just keep doing the right thing, and we will get through this.